Wow. Wow is pretty much all I have to say. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I woke up this morning to a whole bunch of leaks for the upcoming August update in Marvel Future Fight, and I don't know who leaked it. I don't know how it was leaked. I don't know why it was leaked. I mean, you can kind of guess why it was leaked, because people want to, they want to share the things that they find, and they want to be the ones to hype people up. And so I'm making a video about the leaks, but I do want to start off by saying I do feel bad for Netmarble when things get leaked, because unlike other games where there's no advanced notice about these updates and then they just land on one particular day, like let's say Contest of Champions, where there's very limited sort of sneak peeks and stuff like that, Marvel Future Fight is different. It's one of the few games that does these sort of game type sneak peeks where they show us a picture, they do a little talk about it, they do a little blurb, maybe they leave some clues in the text or in the picture, and then a few days later they do another sneak peek, and they do this to build hype over 1 or 2 weeks prior to the update. And so when things get leaked in Marvel Future Fight, I know you guys are really excited about it, and that's great, but at the same time it does ruin the fun for people who like speculating, who like diving into the sneak peeks and looking at them and trying to figure out what they mean and figure out what the text means. And it also ruins the fun of the people who are doing the sneak peeks, who are making them, who are writing them, because that doesn't just get made by robots, so that's made by real people. So I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I like seeing the information ahead of time. I like to know what's coming in Marvel Future Fight, and I like to get hype about stuff. But then on the other hand, it does feel kind of shitty when things get leaked. In general, I would say don't leak things at all, ever, because it's bad. It can be bad for the game, and it can frustrate the developers. And I don't even know. Who knows what reaction they'll have, like Netmarble will have to these leaks. They might second guess their idea or their plan to give star agents an advanced APK of the game now that there have been leaks. I don't know. It might make them, more nervous in the future to do stuff like that, because it might get ruined with something like this. So I just wanted to put that out there at the beginning. There's obviously the advantage of, there's obviously the cool part of the leaks. Don't get me wrong. I really want to talk about the leaks. But then on the other hand, it does feel kind of shitty. And if you worked so hard on something, a month ago, and then you're trying to show it to your fans, and then someone else shows it first, it feels kind of shitty, and I can definitely relate to that on some level. So with that being said, let's get into the leaks. The first one is, I guess, another sneak peek. Someone somehow got the URL for it, and it's Galactus. It's Galactus looking at Earth, presumably, and he looks humongous. He looks very cool, and it kind of reminds me of, it's very similar to how Dormammu looked when he was kind of holding the world in his hands when we had that Inhumans plus Dormammu update way back in 2017. But for those of you speculating that this means Galactus will be a playable character, wait, because there have been more leaks. There have been leaks of the actual patch notes, or actually not necessarily a patch note, but it looks like a presser, which is sort of like a blurb or summary of the update that's going to be sent to Marvel to post on their website, or to post on other websites that cover gaming news and updates. It might have been the Google Play or Apple App Store sort of information underneath the actual game when you go to download it or update it. I'm not sure, but anyways, the information makes it clear that Galactus is not going to be a playable character, but as we suspected, he's going to be related. He's going to be related to the giant boss raid, and that's going to be getting changes as well. So we'll talk about that. The second sneak peek, the second leaked sneak peek, this would be the third or fourth sneak peek actually, is Wave. Very, very cool. We're getting a new character in addition to the uniforms for the Fantastic Four. And Wave, if you guys don't know, is a pretty new hero. She was created very recently, and she is of Filipino descent. So a lot of Filipino fans of Marvel have been really excited to see someone of their own heritage represented in comics, and apparently she's very cool. Apparently she's very popular in the Philippines and other countries as well. So I can't wait to see what they do with her. I'm not very familiar with her and her you know, overall skill set and what she does, but it seems that she's something aquatic or something water-based, which also fits with something else that's coming soon, as you'll see. So I don't know too much about Wave. We don't know how strong she's going to be. Obviously, this is just a sneak peek, but it's really cool. Generally, Netmarble likes to make female characters strong, so I do think that Wave is going to be on the stronger side of things. Whether she's OP or not, I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just excited that we get more new characters that have, you know, a huge fan base already, despite the fact that they're pretty new characters. Like, unlike Crescent and Io and Luna Snow, who were specifically created for Marvel Future Fight and stuff like that, or, you know, even White Fox, where she wasn't created for Marvel Future Fight, she was created in a web comic. She really didn't have a following at the time, even though she was Korean. But with Wave, she's the very first Filipino hero, and they're really making a big push to advertise her, and so she'll already have a pretty strong fan base, which should bring a lot of new players to Marvel Future Fight, which is pretty cool. And then the bigger sort of thing that is hard to necessarily dive into because it's not in English, but it gives us a lot more information, is this presser. It's not patch notes, it's a presser. It looks like a presser to me. That says that the update is going to be on August 7th, which is a Wednesday, which would be like Wednesday morning, which means Tuesday night maintenance. And the patch notes, or sorry, the presser indicates that the patch notes are going to be talking about not only uniforms for the Fantastic Four, but new characters Wave, as we know, well, from the sneak peek, Silver Surfer, which confirms that the previous sneak peek was Silver Surfer, and Namor, the Submariner. So yeah, this looks like a gigantic update. Not only are we getting the Fantastic Four uniforms, not only are we getting Silver Surfer, not only are we getting Giant Boss Raid Galactus, but we're getting Namor and Wave. That's insane. So a lot of heavy hitters in one update. This appears to be a massive, massive take. And it's kind of sucks that it was all leaked at once, but it's pretty insane. So to talk about the leaks in a little bit more, or talk about the patch notes in a little bit more detail, excuse me, it seems as though we are getting, so there's some sort of rework that's going to be happening, or some sort of buff that's going to be happening to Giant Boss Raid to coincide with getting another Giant Boss Raid. So in addition to the Master Mold Boss Raid, there's going to be a Galactus Boss Raid. It doesn't necessarily say, or I can't really understand from the translation, what the rewards are going to be, but there's going to be changes to the existing rewards of type enhancement kits, and there's going to be changes to the Master Mold boss fight. So it appears that instead of being universal type, Master Mold's type is going to rotate depending on the day between Blast, Combat, and Speed, which is going to make him easier to kill for the majority of, well, for basically all characters, which is good because it basically allows you to play with more characters, and it allows you to use certain characters with more effectiveness who were dealing less damage before. It's still going to be very, very hard. It's not going to be easy, but it's just going to be slightly easier for characters who were just on the cusp of being able to do it. And for those characters who were doing it in like 5 minutes and it was kind of a slog, they'll be able to do it a little bit faster and it'll be a little bit smoother, which is nice. The big change, which appears to be talked about in this presser, is that type enhancement kits will now be combinable, just like Uru and just like ISO 8. So rather than being stuck with what you have, you'll be able to convert your 1-stars into a certain number of 2-stars. We have to see what the success rate is. We have to see what the quantity is, like how many 1-stars you need to make a 2-star, because, you know, it could be something like Black Antimatter where you need 50 to make 1 each time, which would make it very expensive and would make it very difficult. Or it could be like Uru where you just need 2 to make 1 of a higher star level. We'll have to wait and see. But this is very good news because that's long been my biggest criticism of type enhancement kits, that they're kind of pointless because you can't upgrade them, and so you're just kind of stuck with, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 1-star kits that you don't need because you need 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6-star kits because, you know, let's say all your characters are at 1 star. What the hell are you gonna do? So they are addressing this, and I think they're addressing the biggest problem with type enhancement kits, so I'm very excited. The other thing that they're going to be introducing is the Galactus Giant Boss Raid, and they don't really talk about the Galactus Giant Boss Raid in detail, but they do say that he's going to be coming as sort of a cosmic threat, and this is going to you know, combine with the reworks for the game mode in terms of the rewards, and then the reworks for the existing Master Mold boss fight. Now, it's unclear whether Galactus is going to be universal now that Master Mold is changing types on different days, but Galactus might be doing the same thing as well. It doesn't say anything about, for those of you wondering, it doesn't say anything about whether Namor, Wave, or Silver Surfer are native tier 2, but it does say that Namor is the tier 3. I believe on the text near the bottom, it says something about Namor category 3 character. So that would be tier 3. Whether Namor is native tier 3 or whether he's tier 1 that can get to tier 3 or whether he's native tier 2 that can get to tier 3, again, I don't think it's very specific, so I don't think we can tell from that. But it seems as though from these patch notes, or from the presser and from the sneak peeks, that Doctor Doom is not getting anything, which I'm honestly not that upset about. I know a lot of you guys love Doctor Doom, but we really need to stop with the you know, native tier 2, tier 3s with the 1600 CCF. That shit needs to stop. Hopefully Namor and Silver Surfer are very, very strong, even though they may not be native tier 2, because I just want them to be super strong because they're amazing, obviously. But yeah, this also does mean that we may not be getting World Boss Namor, World Boss Silver Surfer, World Boss Galactus. So it'll be interesting to see, and we'll have to wait and see how we obtain these characters. If they're just going to be farmable, if they're going to be, you know, paywall, crystal wall, or if they're going to be something else altogether. It doesn't seem like there's an epic quest because there's not really any text about an epic quest or any sort of journey. One of them might be a heroic quest character. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. The last thing is that the potential for those 3 characters are the only 3 new potentials being introduced. So it seems from the presser that the only characters who will be able to get potential are Namor, Silver Surfer, and Wave. So there's no new potential for any existing characters, not even ones that are connected to the Fantastic Four, who may have helped them on certain missions or certain, you know, comic runs, but are already in the game. So a fairly interesting update, a fairly spicy one with a lot of fan favorite characters: Namor, Galactus, Silver Surfer, and, you know, more recently Wave, making waves as a household name in the Philippines and abroad. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. It's a bit bittersweet with the leaks. I know that Netmarble is probably not too happy about the leaks, so I do apologize that I covered them, but I have to cover them because it's what I do. So hopefully they're not mad. But yeah, if they are mad, it wasn't my fault. I didn't leak them, so yeah. But let me know what you guys think. I'm still waking up, so maybe my reaction is fluctuating. But yeah, Galactus, Silver Surfer, Wave, and Namor. Just to recap, tier 3 Namor, upgrades to type enhancement kits, which I applaud Netmarble for doing, and reworks and changes and additions to Giant Boss Raid, which sounds exciting as well, and I think I'll be playing it pretty much every day now. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below, hit me up on Twitter, let me know what you think, join the Discord, talk about it, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow, where we're going to talk about the sneak peek we already talked about. I don't even know. Take care.